Yes! Oh my fucking god! So, for the past 3 months on and off, I have been trying to first get to and then beat Genichiro Ashina Blindfolded. Before we get into the journey, first of all I wanted to say that there's a link in the description to this video, completely unedited, which includes all the proof for each section after each checkpoint is completed if you needed to see it. The whole section took me blindfolded around 16.5 hours to complete on its own, and I think Genichiro himself was around 6 to 8 hours of that. In the roughly 85 failed attempts against this bow-wielding noisy asshole, I will do my best to explain the experience I had fighting this fucker. There's timestamps in the description for each section if you want to skip around, but if not, I hope you enjoy watching this video. Or, if you want a more authentic experience, not watching this video. To start, I realised that after the Flaming Bull, the game actually automatically gives you the next shrine, since if somehow a player managed to die before finding it themselves, they'd be soft-locked and unable to progress with the game, since the doors actually shut again after the next loading screen, so that saved me a lot of ball ache and hassle. I was worried too at first that the Ashina Castle rooftops would give me a lot of trouble too, since the Nightshard Shinobi are quite tough, and there's a plethora of grapple points in the area to confuse myself with. Luckily though, there was a pretty straightforward route requiring minimal camera work or corrections. The most complicated parts were the running sections and the parkour move I did to get up on the rooftops by the shrine in the first place, because if I failed that I'd be completely disoriented and would have to reset immediately, which got pretty annoying pretty quickly. So this area really took minimal time considering. Or you know, at least it would have done, if I hadn't have forgotten to hit record on the attempt where I first beat the area on my main save, because it then took me around another 2 hours to get on tape, so that was great. The extra time in this area wasn't useless, however. I did learn a couple extra things, such as the fact there's a small window you can dodge through the enemy creatively dubbed Wu Guy's kamikaze attack, and a sequence of dashes towards the end that allows me to manipulate the camera without actually needing to touch the camera controls, as that was the part that messed me up the most in this section. Both will be useful if I ever end up doing this as a full consecutive run at some point in the future, should I ever beat the game in some capacity. The Ashina Dojo was probably one of the most complicated platforming sections so far. Luckily for me though, it's quite short. Only that's once you get the door open. But in typical From Software fashion, it can only be opened from one side, and it's never the one you're on. On top of that, the patrolling guards would actually body block me if I moved too quickly here, which is why you see me waiting at this part. The dying part was also totally part of the strategy. The biggest issue for this part though was getting into the rafters, because the grapple point is kind of in an awkward position, and if I'm not fast enough, the enemies in the area will kindly escort me back to the sculptor's idol to reset, as well as the actual opening of the door, since for whatever reason Sekiro's default action for pressing X is to hug the wall, which is an insanely useful ability in a room where stealth is not an option, and the only point of interest is a shortcut that in a normal run saves you only about 10 seconds. Honestly, it's sections like this that make me feel like From Software designed this game with blindfolded play in mind, because this section is so small and is easy enough to just run through, and yet they let you cut it in half anyway. Somehow I managed to fuck that up though consistently for probably another couple hours, and when I finally did succeed, it's because a ghost actually opened the door for me. Never seen that before. Oh shit. Guessing it's because I'd somehow interacted with the door on the precise frame that one of the guards struck me down.
Did that count?
Fucking stoked that it's now a part of my run though.
What happened there? I'll do that in a sec. Let's just check the door. Okay, the door is open.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. After that bit of spiritual or divine intervention, all I've got to do is more or less run in a straight line to the door and then make a U-turn up some stairs and navigate to the sculptor's idol. Obviously the words run and straight line take on a slightly different meaning when you can neither see nor taste nor feel your surroundings. but trial and error has always been an adequate replacement for the sensors anyway. So once I'd figured out a rough pattern of dashes and jumps, the price for success was merely another hour of my limited time on this earth. Oh god, what the hell am I doing? I had to be quick here, since if I was unable to interact with the sculptor's idol fast enough, the enemies in the last room would disable it by proximity, which was troublesome.
Oh, hell yeah. Man, that wasn't so bad.
Finding shrines though actually isn't that hard, I'm discovering. It's just the experience I had with the chicken early in the run that scarred me for life, I think.
Oh, it feels so good to make progress again. 2 bosses in a row now. Hopefully this next guy isn't going to be as much of a pain in the ass as he normally is.
With the harshest platforming section for this part now out of the way, all that was left between me and old Geni was a mini-boss who can be killed in roughly 20 seconds. So you can only imagine how defeated I felt when I realised the attack he spams relentlessly has no fucking sound cues to speak of. I had to look up video guides on strategies for beating this decrepit old fart in order to work out a strategy I could actually use. After that, it was just hoping for favourable attack patterns. Can we real talk for a second? This enemy is probably my second least favourite in the entire game, because he requires the player forget how they've learnt to play up until this point in order to defeat him. To me, this guy and the Flaming Bull were the 2 weakest parts of my first experience with the game, and that holds true even now. Fighting the Bull and Ashina Elite made me sad to think about just how many players were put off from this incredible game thanks to them. They're not hard, they're just not fun. And the experience of abandoning the fighting style you've developed up until this point in order to beat them made them more of a hurdle in frustration than a hurdle in skill. Just felt like I needed to say that, because even though it's an obvious argument to make that the game wasn't developed for people to play it blindfolded, I've been surprised by just how much playing the game blindfolded feels like my first playthrough again. Although with the knowledge of just how well polished every other aspect of the game has been for me. Anyways, that's my rant over for this video.
Fuck yeah! That guy feels like arse to fight, but it feels good to beat him.
And with this geriatric smelly old fuck dead and out of the way, the fun part can begin. Oh yeah, also jumping through windows that don't line up with a wall is an endeavour blindfolded, by the way. This 20-second walk probably took me another hour. Please, no laugh. Also, I know I said in the intro that I was going to explain during a compilation of all my recorded deaths what it was like learning to fight this guy blindfolded, but that was before I'd really started putting that part of the video together. And if I were to put it in here, it would add easily another 20 minutes to the length of this video, and I worry that it might get boring for some people. So I'm planning to make that a second video at some point for those who want to see it, where I'll go over the process, what gave me trouble, what bits didn't, and why Genichiro can suck a fart out of my bum. So subscribe or whatever, and leave a comment if you like. Could be something nice, or you know, just give me ideas of how else I can torture myself with my free time, or call me a dick or something. The short form of it is pretty much that I had to learn how every attack pattern sounds and figure out how best to approach dealing with it, whilst also covering myself for each and every possible attack he could do at any given time, which is how I defend myself from attacks that don't have any reactionable sound cues, and being aggressive enough that he doesn't recover posture faster than I can damage it, whilst also not being so aggressive that I move the fight so much it ends up against a wall or in a corner or something like that. Also aggressive that he can break my posture and kill me instead, all whilst I can't actually see any of this information. Not to mention in phase 3, half the time you start the fight locked on and half the time you don't. So I have to worry about checking that before he puts a sword through my chest. This has been a really fun but challenging ordeal, and I do plan to continue it from here, but I'm currently working a full-time job, so sometimes I just want to do other things for my free time, because this shit's stressful. But I will come back every few months or so with an update, so stick around, and thanks for watching.
I'm pretty happy with that for a first attempt. camera, don't fuck with me this time. Yes! Oh my fucking god! Oh my fucking god, dude. Start? Where is it? I'm so... There we go. Dude. Holy shit. That took me so long. Oh my god, I so wanted to get this done on my week off, and I fucking managed it in the end. That was like attempt 86 or something. Holy fucking shit. Towards the end, like there was stuff at the start that I thought would mean this fight would be almost completely impossible. Like the way that you keep the pressure on him. At first I thought that would be completely impossible because there was no safe strat to deal with anything. And then I realised that I could do that, and there were safe strats, and then I realised that the safe strats weren't even necessary and I could just keep on the pressure if I paid enough attention. But that fucking last phase, the fact that it starts off and half the time it doesn't even lock on your fucking camera, that killed me probably about half the times I managed to reach him. Oh my fucking god, man. And then I think I nearly beat him twice before this, and the fact that there's so much background noise during that whole fight as well, that whole last phase of the fight, holy shit. Fucking hell, man. I don't even know where to go next, but I'm so happy that I finally got that done. Last bits and bobs, because I was able to get a bit done, but oh my fucking Christ. Oh, but I've got marks all over my face. My right eye is so sensitive to light at the moment. Holy shit. Fucking hell. Oh, let's just fucking check that was recording. It was. Oh, fucking thank Christ for that. Shoutouts to my man Curtin Guy for support, Vinsvet for the music, and Otstava for the inspiration. I'll get the second video done some point soon, hopefully. And I've no idea how to outro this video. Bye.